Hello there, my name's Chris Dangerfield and welcome back to my channel. If you're a regular here, you'll know that I've been on holiday. I left you to fend for yourself in the bewilderness that is modern culture. Fear not, I am back now and I'm chugging out videos like so many digital farts. This is a painting by Bernard Buffet from 1970 called Les Folles, which I think is the crazies or the mads or something like that. And it depicts, I'm assuming, it seems to be a fair guess, some kind of orgy, a strange one. They don't look too happy. It's sort of scant on knickers, but clear on bras. We could look for some kind of interesting psychological meaning to that, but almost certainly the artist preferred bras and does not like knickers. There's a reason for me showing this, of course, because the fact that they do all look a little bit bored and a little bit like they'd rather be somewhere else is to do with the topic of this video, because we're going to listen to some students talking about sex, and it is exceptionally disheartening. They kind of sanitized the whole thing, turning it into like some kind of sort of almost a technical engagement. You know, it's slowly being drained of passion. It's slowly being drained of all the things that make it what it is. It's like some kind of moral health and safety is being involved in it. I remember as a young man, I found a French writer called Jean Baudrillard, not Jean Baudrillard, and he was a bit try-hard. He wanted to join in with the big boys, but in truth he was a commuter trash kind of thinker. But he wrote a lovely book called Core Memories, and I was really struck by a particular line in it where he said, during an orgy, a man leant over to a woman and whispered in her ear, "What are you doing after the orgy?" And it really struck me that the idea that you could be involved in what certainly to an 18-year-old art student was the nadir of sexual desire and satisfaction, to be involved in, like, you know, a maze and a web of limbs, having sex with all and sundry, and the idea that you'd lean over and suggest to a woman that you might meet later and why and what would you get out of that, and in some way that the orgy had failed. And Joan, why do I keep calling him Joan? This is all this fucking transgenderism. I'm gender fluiding writers from the past. For fuck's sake, Jean Baudrillard was using it as a comment on postmodernism. And I just used it because it seemed to sort of make some sense that students today are really going to be asking what's happening after the orgy, because the way things are going, it's going to kind of be pointless. So let's... before we go, I was looking for the quote online and I wanted to find it in the French so that I could perhaps pretend to have a better grasp of the French tongue than I most certainly do not have. And listen to it in the French. This is just the first bit. In the heart of the orgy, a man whispers in the ear of a woman. Listen to it in the French. Beautiful language.
Au cœur de l'orgie, un homme chuchote à l'oreille de la femme.
Wonderful. Once more.
Au cœur de l'orgie, un homme chuchote à l'oreille de la femme.
Lovely, yeah? Listen to it in the English.
In the heart of the orgy, a man whispers in the ear of the woman.
Anyway, no more fucking about. Let's get to the beginning of this video. They say something about Obama. Said something about, oh, we've got to get a task force together because there's awful sexual assaults on American campuses. I mean, bullshit. That survey, that report that was written was based on so many lies. They were ringing people up and saying things like, yeah, but, you know, have you ever been touched on a bus on the way to college yet? That's rape. You know, look into it. It's bullshit. There's no 1 in 5. Can you think of a safer place in the universe than an American college campus? Historically and geographically, they are probably some of the most safe places ever. So anyway, let's listen to these pillars.
All areas of campus to have an open and honest discussion about sexual assault and sexual awareness on our campus so that we can get students more aware about the issues, but also in order for them to be safer on our campus.
I wonder if they've done some kind of survey before and after this to see whether they were safer. Oh, for fuck's sake. Do you remember when students were considered the minds of a generation, the people that were going to go on to maintain the Enlightenment? You can imagine Hegel or Kant in his garret smoking opium, considering the interactions between the belief in God and the human destruction of the subject-object relation. Now we've got some chumps who are some kind, I don't know enough about American football to make that joke successfully, but some kind of fucking line backers? Is that something? Anyway, they're chumps.
When there's differences in what you're expecting, like in expectations of the partners or of the, the people who are in contact, then that's really when things kind of get messy.
Absolutely.
When you don't have the same expectations of the partner, things get messy. So unless you have the same expectations, how do you know that without sitting down and writing a fucking report beforehand? What are you talking about? Sex is messy, sex is dirty, sex is passionate, sex is engaging, sex is risky. Do not turn it into two people sitting down writing a report on a future that hasn't happened, you dozy, sterile pricks. Continue.
And there's some confusion.
Yeah, anything I wanted, bro. It's simple. Just anything I wanted.
Yeah, that's sexual assault, anything unwanted.
I think it's just anything that a person doesn't feel comfortable with, whether...
Doesn't feel comfortable with? Take some fucking risks. I mean, I didn't feel comfortable the first time that particular German woman stuck her long-nailed finger round my back door and started inserting it into my Alaskan pipeline. Oh no, that's when you freeze a turd and put it in a condom. Whoops, Freud is really making himself clear today. But it wasn't comfortable, but it was delicious. If you're watching, Jeanette.
It's like... physical, or even if it's just like you're at work and somebody says like, hey hottie, something like that,
Oh yeah, if someone at work says, hey hottie, that's certainly sexual assault. Yeah, nice fucking planet we live on.
Like anything that you don't initiate and that you don't want. No.
So if you don't initiate it, it's sexual assault. So whatever happens, someone is being sexually assaulted, unless it's somehow initiated together. How's that exactly going to happen?
One else is entitled to sex.
Oh, don't use the buzzword entitled. Her eyes wide when she said that. Do I score points? Is this a virtue signal? Did I say entitled?
Sexual services from your body, like just because they give you a ride home or just because they let you crash at their place. Doesn't...
Look at them cracking up. That's how seriously they're taking this. Rape. Rape. They know it's all bullshit. This is pure virtue signalling. This is nothing. This is after grades. Look at her on the left.
I mean, you have to do anything.
Flirting should be safe, should be harmless, and shouldn't take away anyone's right or anyone's right to their own choice.
I can flirt with a girl and maybe she doesn't want to talk to me anymore after that point. It's just when people don't get that, when people don't understand that and people don't communicate about that, that's when situations get dangerous.
When you're robbed.
So when she doesn't want to talk about him, if they don't communicate that, it's going to get dangerous. Well, fucking, these are students. What he's basically just said then, if a woman says, no, to be honest with you, mate, can you go away? And you go, no, I'm staying here and then I'm going to fuck you. Oh, well done. You've identified that as sexual assault. Great stuff. I'm sure campus life will be a lot safer thanks to you, Ice Cube.
Yeah. Yes, when you rob somebody of the choice, that's when it just gets really dangerous.
Honestly, one of the only like real surefire ways of knowing that what you're doing is okay and it's not like sexual assault or whatever you want to consider it is like communication throughout the entire process, like from beginning to end. And even though it is like kind of lame to think about sometimes, it's...
Oh my god, kind of lame. Communication. What did the fuck? Let me just hear that again to make sure this lunatic actually said the life-defying phrase I think she said.
Like from beginning to end. And even though what you're doing is okay and it's not like sexual assault or whatever you want to consider it, is like communication throughout the entire process, like from beginning to end. And even though it is like kind of lame to think about sometimes,
she's actually saying when you're having sex you should be like, okay, I'm just going to put my hand down onto your left thigh, are you cool with that? Yeah, sure. And then the partner says, I'm just going to put my hand around the back of your neck, are you okay with that? Yeah, good, yeah, let's just keep communicating. I'm going to go in for a kiss now, but I'm going to get your top lip between my two lips and maybe just nibble on it. Is that good? Yeah. And then you can imagine while they're doing that and the other one's going, I'm gonna and she's like, oh sorry, did you not hear? I said I was going to put my entire fist in your vagina, but you were biting my lips, so I failed to communicate that adequately. Continue, you sterile bastards.
it's like that's the only way you can really know.
Oh yeah, so there you go. The only way you can really know you're not sexually assaulting someone is if you don't stop talking about what you're doing for the duration of the sexual act.
I feel like no one ever goes out with the intent, oh, I'm going to sexually assault someone tonight.
I think they do. They're called rapists.
Yeah. You know, like they think everything's fine because there was no communication.
What? I can't even unravel the illogic of that nonsense.
That's when you communicate.
Exactly.
If you can't read those signs, then that's when you communicate.
If you can't read her signs, that's when you communicate. Reading her signs is communicating. What you mean, like all you prats mean, is you need to start talking. This is dry as hell. Your sex lives are making my penis retract like a kangaroo before a fight. By the end of this video, I wouldn't be surprised if the whole fucking thing has grown wings and flown away to a planet where people still have enjoyable fucking sex.
I mean, as hard as this is, I mean, am I making you uncomfortable?
Am I crossing the line?
Yeah, am I making you uncomfortable?
Oh my fucking Christ. Can you imagine? You just insert your penis and you're doing that thing where you're just putting the end in. Am I making you uncomfortable? Am I crossing the line? And she goes, yeah, you are. Oh, okay, I'll take that out. Can I maybe just sort of play with your tits? Yeah, that's good, is it? Okay. Am I making you uncomfortable? Am I crossing the line? For fuck's sake, people.
Like, am I...
And the annoying thing about this, of course, is they're all lying. None of them are doing that. They're fucking. Like people have been doing since we crawled out of the sea with our little amoeba. And they were dribbling on each other and biting each other's neck and the odd slap. And there's liquids and there's phlegm and there's spunk and there's a bit of blood and there's sweat. Because it's what people do. This is just bullshit. This is just... Yeah, I mean...
Am I bothering you?
I think that
Am I bothering you? Am I bothering you? And imagine, yeah, you're bothering me. Bothered.
That's where people go wrong. Like, they just kind of jump into things and...
Oh yeah, awful to just jump into things. I think sex with a stranger should be planned. Maybe start 4 weeks beforehand, write a list, communicate about that. Yeah, sure. People just jump into things. Oh, it's awful, isn't it? Spontaneous sex, no one likes that.
That's where things get bad.
I think a lot of people are also really scared of looking like dorky or it being...
Well, if they are, take a look around you, girl.
being awkward to have some sort of conversation, or you may feel like you're overreacting, or just talk.
Just talk. No, don't talk. Just fuck. Don't talk. And if you want to talk, say something horrific. Be disgusting. Allow yourself to break convention. Use filthy language that actually threatens the limits of the enclosure that this kind of sterility has almost castrated a generation with. What role does alcohol play? What is this, 1940? What role does crack and methamphetamine play? I had sex at college on acid and speed and 20 pints of Guinness. I had sex with women that didn't even know what their name was, let alone my name was. I fucked thousands of women in my 7 years at our college, and I didn't have any problems with sexual assault. So...
a lot of the reason why people have sex when they're intoxicated is because they can kind of use that as an excuse the next.
No, they do it because they get horny as fuck. It lowers their inhibitions and they can have sex without asking too many questions. Am I bothering you? It's very difficult to say that when you've had a bottle of gin inserted into your ass and you've done a handstand so you got pissed up the colon. I had a girlfriend once and I explained that to her. I said, if you put a bottle of vodka in someone's bum, and then like they stand upside down, they'll get pissed. And she said to me, because she was bisexual and filthy, she said to me, so if we were to get a girl and put a bottle of vodka in her bum and make her do an handstand, we could probably get her to do anything. And I was like, yeah, not because she's pissed though. Oh, anyway, back to these bastards.
Say like, oh yeah, I did this, but it was only because I was drunk.
You know, the legality of it is that if there's any intoxication involved or anything else, and the girl, you know, the next day when she's in a sober state of mind, or even in a guy's case, it could be a guy's case too, and looks back and says, I don't really like how he or she pursued what happened last night. I mean, it could end up into a sexual assault case.
When you're under the
Yeah, well done for saying men as well, but that's not true. Women, women can remove. They can, what's it called? They can remove consent after the act if they've had a sniff of amyl nitrate. But I don't think it's the same for men. Actually, look into it.
influence is even more important to do those checks, because if you're
those checks, stop talking about making fucking checks. What are you doing? You are rinsing the sex out of sex. It's gonna end up being like some kind of aerobics.
misinterpreting something in your head and they're totally not about it, and you go in for a kiss or, you know, even something more, and you are just setting yourself up for bad news.
If you go in for a kiss, you're setting yourself up for bad news. No, you're not, because if she doesn't want to kiss you, she's just going to go, no, fuck off. It's obvious. This stuff is basic. People have been having sex quite happily without sexually assaulting themselves for millennia, without this virtue signalling absolute bullshit. And what really annoys me is you fuckers know it, because none of you are doing this. Not a chance. And if you are, don't. It's embarrassing. And your children will be useless.
Not necessarily like, oh, this has to happen, like we have to hang out after we leave the bar tonight or anything like that. It's like, hey, like if you do want to pursue something like later on, then like when you're sober, shoot me a text or give me a call. And that's
So you meet a girl or a bloke in a bar, they're drunk, and you're like, no, I really fancy you, we're both horny as fuck, but if you fancy me now, can you email me later when you're sober, and then we'll do it, because that shit is hot. The bars at my art colleges were just insane. There was the buzz of endless fucking. It was the preamble to definite sex. It was alive. It was electric in the air. You know, some weeks I was fucking like 2 different women a day. One of my art colleges, I only had 300 students. More than, I think less than a third of them were blokes. Less than half of those blokes were straight. Less than half of them were working class. And less than half of them were good looking. That actually just left me, by the way. And I had an absolute festival of fuckery at that place. And you just walked into the bar and you could smell it. Yeah. I've got such a boner right now. I hope you have too. And ladies, I hope you're stuck to the seat. Continue, you lot.
That's what I've always kind of used as like a safety guard.
That's his safety guard. Hey, I'm pissed, you're hot, I'm sexy. Text me when you're sober. This will be great.
You know, as you were saying, every intention, every action that I do, I want to be proud of. And so when I look at myself in the mirror, I want to be proud of the person that's looking back.
Oh, fuck off, I don't. I want to wake up in the morning, look in the mirror and go, oh my fuck. Who the fuck is... Oh, what the fuck did I do? Oh, fuck. I want to be full of regrets after sex. I don't want to look at the mirror and be proud. Yeah, well done, Chrissy boy. No. I got laid so much because I was an arsehole. You know, I used to go up to women I fancied and just be brutally honest with them. I didn't have time for small talk. I didn't have the ability for small talk. I'd go up to them and say, look, I've been checking you out for about 10 minutes now. You are so hot. Do you want to fuck? And it worked almost every time. Why? Because it's not dull. It's not boring. You could see the look in their faces. It was exciting. Jesus Christ, he's just said that. Sometimes I'd go moving on women who've got some other bloke sitting next to them going, yeah, I mean, I polish my car at the weekend. I polish it on a Thursday. If it rains, I'll polish it. Sometimes I'll polish it in the sun. Yeah. No, out the way, mate. Want to fuck?
You don't ever want to see your sister treated like bad.
What the fuck? No one wants to think about their family when they're having sex. How did sisters get brought into this? Unless he's sort of doing that black thing and he's talking about sisters. I don't know.
Yeah.
I fucking hope so, because if he's just dragged his sister into that, I think that says a little bit more about his sexuality than the rest of the world's. Except for Fritzl's daughter, sister, mothers.
And you gotta think about the next man, like that could be his sister.
What are you... You've got to think about the next man. That could be his sister. Who? His sister? What the fuck?
His sister.
That guy, if he's gonna talk to my sister, I want him to see the same things I see in her. Like, I think she's a beautiful...
You want... Hang on. You want the man your sister's having sex with to see the same things in... You want your sister's prospective fuck piece to view her the same way you do. Do you realise what you just said, mate? Because it's really, really, really fucking dark.
Beautiful girl, but I also think she has an excellent mind. She has a lot of great things to say.
Oh, fuck you, man. Yeah, so when you're sitting there jacking off over porn, you've been gacking up cocaine for 4 days, you're smashing your laptop on your cock to bring it back to life, and you're looking at that fucking Gianna Meekles and you're thinking, yeah, she's got a lot to say. She's got a great mind, you lying bastard. You just want her to be your sister. Unless, of course, your sister's got a great mind. Continue.
Take the time to get to know someone.
Oh, yeah, time to get to know someone, yeah. Because prostitution isn't an exceptionally popular pastime, is it?
I think she's a fling or something.
No, I want to not get to know someone I'm having sex with. I love that. I want to get to know them having sex. Can you imagine actually doing that rather than sitting down beforehand like you twats writing some kind of pre-sexual report?
Yeah.
And you can't really just tell someone, don't sexually assault and don't get sexually assaulted. You know, like you just kind of have to advise them and advise yourself to be aware of your surroundings, be aware of where you are, who you're with, stuff like that.
Oh yeah, that's easy on New Year's Eve after 20 pills.
Your friend going with someone that looks pretend like they may not think that's a sketchy person.
Hang on, did she say if you see your... Let's go back.
Stuff like that.
You see your friend going with someone that looks pretend like they may not think that's a sketchy person, but if you feel like that's a
Can you believe what she's saying? If you see your friend going with someone that you don't like, please tell me you're going to interfere.
suspicious person, right? You should say something.
I'll pull.
Imagine you're leaving a club with a woman or a man or whatever, a prospective sexual partner, and her mate comes running up and says, "No, this one's well sketchy." Jesus fucking Christ! I'd say, "No, madam, you're sketchy. Come on, darling, we're leaving."
Pull my friend out and
She'd physically pull her back. What the fuck are you doing? I wonder how many friends you've got left.
they are mad at me in that present time, but next day you'll thank me later.
No, next day they're going to be polite and avoid you like the fucking plague, you psychotic lunatic.
What could be that friend?
Sexual assault. Sexual assault.
You need to be courageous. Like in a situation when it calls for it, you need to have the courage to say something and do something and to intervene.
You know, I mean, that's what, yeah, you need to be courageous and intervene in someone else's sex life. Probably talking about his sister. Give me some fucking money on Patreon. I hope you enjoyed the videos. Click thumbs up. Leave a comment. Fuck them. Have sex. Be dirty. Take risks. Enjoy yourselves. You'll be fucking dead soon.